It's 9:14 on a Tuesday morning, and you are becoming a billionaire. You know the exact time because you keep checking it. You're sitting at the same desk you've had since freshman year, the one with the sticker you can't remember putting on. And on the screen is a wire confirmation with your name beside a number that has 10 digits in it. The acquisition just closed. It's real. It's done. And you feel nothing. A flat, ringing quiet, like the half-second after a loud noise stops. You wait for the fireworks. Everyone promised you fireworks. To understand why they never come, why the biggest morning of your life feels like the inside of an empty library, you have to go back 4 years. To a dorm room with a broken radiator and a friend named Dev. Part 1. The Dorm. You don't start with a billion-dollar idea. Nobody does. You start with a small, specific annoyance and too much time. You're 21. The radiator in your dorm clanks all night. Your best friend Dev, heavy-set, flannel, a laptop permanently welded under one arm, is on the floor eating cereal at midnight, and the two of you keep circling the same dumb problem. Small businesses wait forever to get paid, and it's slowly strangling them. Your uncle runs a print shop. He once waited 90 days for a check that decided whether he made rent. You watched him do the math at his own kitchen table, quietly, so his kids wouldn't hear. That image is the engine. It always is. Underneath every founder is one moment they're trying to unhappen. So you build the thing. It is not glamorous. It's a small piece of software that does one boring job well. It helps a business get paid in 2 days instead of 90. You and Dev write the first version in 3 weeks, running on coffee and spite, and you launch it to exactly 11 users, 4 of whom are your relatives. You have a girlfriend, Maya. She's a nurse, works nights, comes home at 7 a.m. as you're just getting started, and finds you asleep on the keyboard. She doesn't complain. She just puts a blanket over you and goes to bed. Remember that. It matters later. Part 2. The Climb. Here's what the movies get wrong. There's no lightning bolt. There's just a very long, unglamorous grind that occasionally, quietly works. The 11 users become 100. You email every one of them personally. The 100 become 1,000, and something shifts. The boring little tool is saving people real money, and they start telling each other. Dev handles the code. You handle everyone else. You sleep 4 hours a night and call it discipline. You go looking for money to grow, and you learn what no tastes like. Investor after investor, polished offices, identical suits, the same faint smile that means, not for me. You pitch 29 times. 29. You keep a list. On the 30th, a woman named Priya slides a term sheet across a table and says the words that change your life without you feeling it yet. We're in. Now it goes fast. You hire. You move out of the dorm into an office with exposed brick and no heating, which somehow costs a fortune. The number of people using your boring little tool doubles, then doubles again, and the cost of that climb gets charged quietly to the people around you. You miss Maya's birthday. You miss it again. You start saying, after this next thing, so often it becomes a kind of white noise in the apartment. Your mom, cardigan, reading glasses on a chain, still working the pharmacy counter she's worked for 20 years, calls to say she's proud and to ask gently if you're eating. You say yes. You were lying. You're building an empire on vending machine pretzels. This is the part nobody photographs. The climb doesn't feel like winning. It feels like debt you're paying with the only currency you can't earn more of. Part 3. The Exit. Then, one Tuesday, a much bigger company decides they'd rather own you than compete with you. The offer is a number so large it stops sounding like money and starts sounding like a typo. There are lawyers now, rooms of them. There are weeks of due diligence where strangers read every message you've ever sent and put a price on the thing you and Dev built on a dorm floor. You sign your name so many times the letters stop looking like a word. And on a Tuesday morning at 9:14, the wire clears. You are 25 years old and worth $1.2 billion. And you're back where this story started, sitting at the old desk, waiting for a feeling that isn't coming, learning the first hard truth of the whole journey. You spent 4 years buying a ticket to a room, and the room turns out to be empty. Part 4. The first high. Don't worry, the feeling does eventually arrive. It's just smaller than promised, and it doesn't stay. It comes in the absurd little moments. The first time you look at a price tag and understand in your body that the number on it no longer applies to you. You buy the stupid car, not a sensible one, the ridiculous one. You fly Dev and 3 friends somewhere warm and wave off the bill like a magician. You buy the apartment with the view, and it's wonderful. For about a month. Then something quietly cruel happens. The car that stunned you in week 1 becomes, by week 6, just the thing you drive. The view becomes the window. Each new thing gives you a bright, real spike of joy, and then your mind files it under normal and resets, waiting for the next one. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, and it is the single most important thing to understand about your new life. You adapt to everything. The floor keeps rising to meet whatever you stand on, so you chase a bigger spike. And it works, for a shorter time. You start to suspect the terrible truth. You will run out of wanting long before you run out of money. Part 5. The part about people. This is the one that actually hurts. And it starts with a text from Dev. He texts you the same thing he's texted since you were 19. Food? And for half a second, before you can stop it, a thought appears that has never once been there in 6 years of friendship. What does he want? You hate it. You give anything to unthink it, but it's there now, and it won't leave. Because $1 billion doesn't ruin your relationships. It does something quieter and worse. It makes them unprovable. Maya still loves you, almost certainly, but you can no longer prove it to yourself because the money has poisoned the evidence. Every kind thing anyone does now arrives with a tiny asterisk you didn't ask for and can't erase. And the asks begin. A college roommate with a pitch deck. A cousin with an emergency that may or may not be real. Names you haven't heard in years suddenly warm. Everyone who smiles at you might mean it, and you will never, ever be certain again. There's even a clinical name for the fog that swallows people after a sudden windfall. Sudden wealth syndrome. The guilt, the paranoia, the strange isolation. It sounds like the most ungrateful problem on earth. You feel ashamed even having it. It's real anyway. So you do what lonely rich people have done for all of history. You pull in. You shrink your circle to the people who knew you before, and you hold them close, and you watch, quietly, constantly, for the day the money changes them too. You sit in a room full of people who love you and feel more alone than you ever did when you were broke. Being broke is lonely because nobody's there. Being rich is lonely because you can't be sure they would be if the money weren't. Part 6. The mirror. By now you've spotted the pattern, and you keep waiting for the level where it finally breaks. Surely at this one, something changes. So you go looking for the fix. A bigger house. It echoes. A coach. A retreat, a program that promises meaning. You optimize your body, your sleep, your calendar. You take the trip that's supposed to remake you, and somewhere on a perfect beach that costs more per night than you used to make in a month, you catch yourself refreshing your phone out of pure, gnawing boredom, and you feel the specific shame of being unhappy in a place you were told was happiness. Then it lands, like a stone dropped in still water. You spent your whole life believing there was a finished version of you waiting on the other side of the money. Calmer, freer, done. There's a name for the lie. The arrival fallacy. The belief that reaching the goal delivers a permanent feeling it was never able to deliver. You arrived. And the person waiting at the finish line was just you. Same anxious wiring, same 3 a.m. thoughts. The same small wound from a kitchen table years ago, still exactly where you left it. The money was supposed to silence that voice. Instead, it stole your last excuse for it. When you were broke, you could always whisper, "I'd be okay if I just had enough." That sentence was a kind of hope, and you just spent it. Part 7. What it actually buys. Now, don't mistake any of this for the lazy lie that money doesn't matter. It matters enormously. It just buys something completely different from what you were sold. It buys the end of a specific fear, the animal dread of the bill you can't cover, the emergency that could sink you, the 90-day wait that decides whether your uncle makes rent. That fear is gone now, forever, and its absence is a genuine gift. It buys time, the right to say no, ownership of your own hours, and once, one clean afternoon, it buys something that feels exactly as good as you always dreamed. You drive your mom to a small house with a garden she doesn't know is hers, and you put the keys in her hand, and you watch her understand. She takes off her reading glasses. She doesn't say anything. And for that one afternoon, the whole 4 years pays for itself. The money is a spectacular tool. It was never going to be a destination. It can delete everything beneath you. It cannot hand you the things above you, a reason to rise, people you're sure of, a self you can stand to be alone with. Those were never for sale, not at any price, not even yours. So, you became a billionaire at 25. You got the number. You got the car, the view, the freedom from the small fears, and one perfect afternoon with a set of keys. And you learned, faster than almost anyone gets the chance to, that the feeling you were chasing was never inside the number, that you'd been sprinting at a finish line that moves at exactly your speed. Money, it turns out, is not a transformation. It's a magnifying glass. It doesn't make you someone new. It makes more of whoever you already were. Restless before? You're now restless with a jet. Kind before? You can now be kind at a scale that rewrites lives. It amplifies. It does not fix. You close the laptop. The number's still there. It'll be there tomorrow. And 4 years from now, in a dorm room with a broken radiator, another 21-year-old is eating cereal on the floor at midnight, staring at a small, specific annoyance, certain, absolutely certain, that the number on the other side will finally be enough. You hope, for their sake, they find out gently.